Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Igniting Your Heart and Soul, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful guest, who used to be a co-host with me and has many shows here of abundant wisdom for you to find, is Christina Hill. She has been a little absent from this platform for a while because she has been traveling elsewhere. No, not on this planet. She has been up with her beautiful spirit, Othello, learning everything that she needs to learn to bring back to us so that we can find the peace, for peace is freedom. And if we don't understand what freedom is, we don't understand what peace is, we can't attain it. So understanding it, allowing ourselves to immerse ourselves into it, being present is extremely important. So I am so delighted to have her back here again with Othello. I hope Othello is going to come in and talk to us. Will she come in and talk to us?
Yes, absolutely. Nabu Aliyah. Let's begin with that, Sarah. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for your light, your
Right back
peace
at
fellowship.
you.
Yes, your commitment to light and peace. So it's a blessing to be in here and now with you and all of you listening.
We need desperately right now because we are rising. It doesn't matter what chaos we see or what discord we see or what anger and pain we see. We are rising, and people are feeling that rising up, that elevation of when you step into love and you step into that essence of living, all of your senses and awakening and being present. You wake up to the fact that there's so much more in life. And that it's really quite simple, isn't it? It's being present, tuning in and allow.
Yes. Can we pause right now and just go inward, just to feel the inner light that is pulsating,
Mm-hmm.
the light that is always here, and beyond just words, it's a feeling. If we can rest in the potent strength of that light, just for even a second,
Mm-hmm.
then we break free from chains.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us, I'm going to raise my hand on this, how many of us have lived in the bondage of mind, the bondage of our own thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, and we get trapped in there, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay too. That's part of our journey and learning. But now we are rising,
Mm-hmm.
and we turn the attention inward. We find there is something higher than just thought and the stories that are in the thought land, or as Othello calls it, the candy land of mind, which is very addictive place. Is very sugary in there.
Mm-hmm.
We feel the light. We can access that light now. It's
Mm-hmm.
now accessibility. So yes, you're right, Sarah. This is definitely human times of ascension, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also though more about feeling it and living it, which is why Othello is here. Now I'd like to begin our transmission
Mm-hmm.
emission, bright rays and Syrian light, frequencies of plasmatica, which you can feel through Othello.
Stay
Look
with.
to the brilliant.
Sorry. I'm just bridging the gap so people don't leave us.
Oh, it's fine to feel a bit unnerved by stillness. The silence It's like, what's happening? There's no one saying anything and we're on the air. Yet there are pulsations and emissions that you can feel. Let's open the heart. The front and back door of your heart is velvety and soft. It just open. And there you find silence, a pureness, the love. Let's go into what we call pre-thought. Before you start thinking something, and this usually happens when you're in meditation or just before you go to sleep, there is a space within you that is loving and light-filled, and yet it's not attached to stories.
Mm.
The pre-thought realm is where we can start right now to levitate and meditate and just feel the love in your own heart. It's very simple. Even a child can understand these words. The love of your own heart doesn't need a story. In this moment, you can just feel the love. That's it. Feel the light. That heartbeat of yours, it comes from the divine. It's pure love. Let's just breathe the airs up here with light. There is light surrounding you. There is light within you. You are made of light. You are the light. This is fantastic news for all beings who've been caught up in the headiness or the density of thinking. Thinking has become insane. Thinking cannot provide an oasis of loving, healing sanctuary the way that light can. Thankfully, the divine has designed all of you to have a reservoir of love right now that is storyless and free. Othello sends Christina to visit with prisoners at Amity Foundation, other prisons around the world, to sit with those that are enclosed in a cell and have a number to their identity. Yet even these prisoners have found freedom. They're free. Because within themselves, they've learned how to detach from stories that cause pain, body, tissue, suffering. Stories that take them out of their state of love and into an imaginary, not here and now being state. So in other words, the mind is very quick to take us out of stillness and into some other place. Sarah, how do you feel right now as you connect into the light love that is resonating right now, flowing right now inside of your heart?
Peace and tranquility and safety.
Refuge. Yes. There's also stability in this light and love that is within. There are these challenges, such as the Firdemia. Challenges of the body, the mortal body will experience this on some level. Or other challenges, such as being locked up in a prison cell. Challenges that are also more mundane, like being irritated by a coworker, or just not knowing what to do and feeling confused, or a state of depression or gloom comes over you. Anxiety, panic, fear. I mean, these are all possibilities. So can we now rest in the stable space of love and light that is within? Yes, we can.
Mhm.
If we are committed to sitting every day and being with the light within, being, not thinking, but being,
Mhm.
then therein we have the peace, insta peace, peace that even goes beyond what the physical body is manifesting. If you are in your healing journey, you'll understand this. It's possible to maintain stability, safety, peacefulness, even as the body is kicking up some dust
Mhm.
or processing things through to open up new doorways to new beginnings. Oh, yes. Sarah is a great, great living example of this. So right now we go to the peace that is inside, that cannot be taken from you,
Mhm.
no matter what the circumstance. Now, it may take a little bit of navigating or practicing, but we can feel deep in the heart just that little spark. Or for some of you who are great meditators in oneness, you are already in the sonship or paradise Shambhala, and you have a great understanding of light. No matter where you are, in what stage of development, we can all agree that peace does passeth all understanding, and it starts here. The mind will try to create some kind of campaign or story. That's fine. Let the mind do this. Meanwhile, return back to the suspension of light, the spaciousness that you can feel right now. This is the field of spaciousness. Light. Pure light. Let that light travel throughout your body, touching the molecules of you. Go full in on light. Let's look very closely now at the mechanics of movement for a moment. Ego wants to survive. The personhood that you might have lived with your whole life, that has a story constantly chitter-chattering. It's not that we're chucking this. It's not we're saying that it's bad. Syrians believe that humans have the capability to exist above their own personality. You're now in a stage of your development where this is possible, and that you are feeling it, you are living it right now. Otherwise, this message and this show would be apart. It could not exist in your vibration. You've attracted this message today, right now, to gain new insight on how to hover above your mind,
Mhm.
how to exist above a personality that gets very busy or worried or concerned or sad or lonely or fearful of what might come. It starts with recognizing inner light. When you are a baby and first born, that's all you know, is consciousness of light. You are an angel. And then, as science shows, you are conditioned, growing up in conditioned patterns. And these algorithms are built into the cells, and personality is formed, and you believe that that's who you are. Okay, so now you've graduated, you're awakening, and you are ascending. You have outgrown the personality that is worried, fearful, suffering. If you've really come to that point, you are ready to eject out of the personality.
Yeah.
And this is the best. This is the best. The best moment of all is when you say yes. I'm ready to float higher above the personality, yet still live down here on earth and do all my human activities and kick it in the 3D, take all of these lessons sweetly and learn my lessons sweetly. You'll say yes to all of this. If you feel even a speck of what Othello speaks to be true, then confirm it for yourself. All living beings deserve peace and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's how we're built. The peace blocker, or the barricade to peace and freedom. Syrians believe that is the human racy mind consciousness, the mind that has gone wild. This needs to be a reality show. Mind's gone wild. Oh my. What is the mind cooking up next?
Trouble.
Being naughty.
Mm.
Yes. You can include your personality in your day and continue ascending. Doesn't mean that you have to live in a monastery like Christina or go and meditate in the mountains for the rest of your human life. It doesn't mean that you break off relationships. All of this is falsehood that the mind would try to tell you. Why? So that the mind can just keep on going with itself. Makes spirituality look like an evasive, head in the sand escape. Well, your spiritual practice is in the here and now. Right now, this is it. Take a breath. Maybe it's a deep breath, maybe it's a shallow breath. Take that breath and release it. And let go of stories. Let go of even the imagination. And just exist right now. Just be right now. There's your natural state. This is where light can come in, even if it's just a second. Now let's all of us get a good, strong image of a flamingo in the swamp. A flamingo, pink, long legs, just hanging out. What have we done? We've created a thought. We've colored it a little bit with color. We can all visualize this flamingo. This is the ego thinking, projecting, yes, creating. So now we're aware that just by putting our attention on an image, the thought process and the personality comes in. All right. But here's what's going to happen. After this experience today, Syrians are going to bless your energetic field with a powerful technique known as hovering. The scarab of Sirius B helps us to hover, to practice hovering above even this image of the flamingo and all other thoughts and sensations and feelings. Go back to the image of the flamingo. And now I'd like for you to feel that you, not your mind, but the essence of you, is floating above that flamingo. Forget your name, forget who you are, let go of your personality, and just be there, hovering on top of this image. Just practice and feel, hovering above an image or a thought. Okay, you've done it. Congratulations. This is hovering. Do you know you can hover above any thought? Even the most tragic and pain latent, pronging for your attention, even the most unbearable of thoughts and histories and stories and future predictions, even sensations. You can practice now. If you feel a sensation in your body, let's just say you've manifested something in your body, feels dense, there is an imbalance going on. I want you to take your being, your soul, and hover above your own physical body. You say, but I can't. That's the mind. Let go of that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, even if it's just a nanosecond, a tiny split second where you sense that you've ejected from this and you're hovering, that counts. And that is accrued ascension. These are light moments where you are experimenting with freedom. And you can hover above your body, above sensations, above emotions, even for a split second. You are navigating, you are piloting, you are claiming your most powerful embodiment. Light and freedom and peace are yours. Othello once sat with the physical format of Thich Nhat Hanh, the consciousness being that is now evolved into the non-physical. And we sat without speaking, hovering above mind and watching and noticing as thoughts arise. Every now and again, a question or a comment would arise. Yet it was very conscious, this light conversation. And both of us agreed that more and more human beings are discovering that total freedom is not only possible, it's your divine birthright. And with a little bit of daily commitment, daily devotional to the light, quickly you gain the apparatus, the spiritual strength to develop this skill and to have it be just very automatic. Imagine now if you're able to notice and observe and hover above all of your thoughts. Well, that is fascinating, because that is how many galactic races, including the Syrians, that's how we operate. We don't live in thought. We live in light. Well, by now, you could be feeling the transmission of Blu-ray frequencies. And Sarah, with your permission, we would love to grant the Syrian light codes which promote hovering and healing of the physical body. Do we have your permission?
Absolutely.
To receive a health pack from the Syrian satellite is easy. You just have to ask. The Syrian satellite is now visible from Oahu, points of Hawaii, across the United States in most major cities, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, and many, many other locations in between. Literally all over the globe, the satellite is moving and providing health packs and plasmatic attunements that come in the format of these codes. And here they are. As Athela speaks them, feel the plasmatic light emanating. The coding itself reaches you. It penetrates those cells and creates Athela Tesla coils, formation of new positive cells that are born in health, returning you to your original blueprint of joyfulness, light, openness, health, opulence, abundance, peace, and no mind. Here we go. Nabualia, Riksa, Seiksa, Harixhem, Slitri. Dynamo. 3 blue angels. Esikuai, Leimulai, Zramui. Ulias. 3 blue angels. Nabu Ali. And release. That's perfect. Good. Now, when you're moving and changing and becoming a light warrior and releasing old things, like peeling the old, shedding the old skin of your old consciousness, okay. That means that all material from before will come up for release. All the old fears, even before this lifetime, life between lives, when you were a dandelion, all the old pollen and dust that you had collected from the beginning of your existence, which is even infinite, you are releasing. The tissues are released, and you can embrace what is now. You really do not have to live in the future. That's an imaginary state. It's useful for logistics and for planning. So if you're in a high busy, high rush kind of environment where planning is required, make those little adjustments. Fill out the calendar, input the information, okay. But then cut those cords, leave that energy. And if you're getting really advanced, stay in the now as you are doing it. Be very conscious of the planning. Consciously fill out your planner. Consciously answer your phone or consciously speak in the meeting that you are hosting. Do this all whilst you are aware that it's happening. But then from there, return to the here and now, breathing and being. Keep coming back here into the love zone of the here and now. Remind yourself that the now heals. It truly does. It's also the only thing that exists. If past is a predominant habit of yours, it's okay. It's like chewing bubble gum and you've become addicted to it. You don't have to live in the past. You can make the choice to shift. It's as easy as saying, hey, wake up. I'm right here, right now. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm talking with Sarah. I'm meditating. Oh, I just took a trip in my mind. Oh, that's right. Back in the now. All of these are examples of how you make a conscious choice to pivot and light meets you the rest of the way. What is the best way to stay in the now and to hover above your mind? Lean upon light. Ask for what you need. Let light show you how. You are beautiful. Right here, right now. Let's touch the now and whatever it is that you're experiencing. Let's feel light embracing you totally. Feel the beauty that you are right now. This is the ultimate release. The ultimate surrender. If there is pain body, and the mind says, you know, Othello, this is nice and all, but I've got this and this and this. There is this and this and this. My mind keeps reverting back to this and this. My mind hops around so quick during this whole message, Othello. My mind has been going. Light. Hovering does not mean that these experiences won't arise. When they do arise, you know exactly where to go. Hovering in light or hanging out with light will give you an advantage. Suddenly, you're not drowning in these thoughts. Suddenly, you feel more light than you do these particular movements of the mind. Mm. You feel peace and freedom, even if this and this and that is going on. And that is a success. That is to be celebrated. remember, the only barrier to freedom and peace is the mind. Eventually, many, many human years from now, humans as a race, they will have made friends with their own minds. It will be friendly territory.
Not conflicting.
Yes, we all see this. The Pleiadians have spoken about it in our galactic meetings. Syrians, we know that this is approaching. But we're not there yet, not quite. There's still an epic uprising, a kickback of the mind that has some bite and fangs to it. The mind that wants to grip and hold on to its position. Feel your body in that moment. What are you defending? What is this pain body that wants to keep you in bondage? Explore a little bit about what the mind really does, even if it's happiness. If you're someone that's very content and happy, or things just happen to be really, really good for you right now, explore that. Look at the stories of happiness. Just look. Hover above them for a while and see what they consist of. That's it. Maybe in there, in this hovering above your mind, you will find a golden nugget. Your aha realization. Maybe the mind cannot take you to your light status that awaits you. After all, the light is all there is. Light has created everything. Maybe the mind will not be able to take you to where your soul and your highest self really want to exist. Total freedom from your own mind. This is the absolute freedom. Let's bring this all back down to earth, into the human experience. Throughout the day, things are coming left and right, challenge arises. The mind itself, it keeps going. Here are the Syrians of the satellite and Othello to greet you and to walk with you. You have guides. It's undeniable. Light itself, the omnipresence, is with you as all this chaos and things are busyness and the mind and everything's happening. Will you lean upon us? Ask for the light guidance to help you to hover, to give you a little bit more spaciousness and flotation above whatever it is that's going on in your life. And I say air quotes here because you are light. The story, the mental story of your life, that is on another frequency. It's actually a tiny speck of who you really are. You are vast. Supernova. It's actually inconceivable. You. Beyond your mind, because you're not the mind. So ask that light help you to hover, to see thought, to learn about the pre-thought realm, or if you're just beginning, detachment in your meditations. Holding the here and now as a way of living. You can ask for all of this right now. As a follow-up, and before we close with more Syrian codes for you to ingest and integrate, I want to share with you that Christina has lived through and transcended a total transconfiguration and has morphed herself into a Syrian. She has come from homelessness, prostitution, living like an animal in the woods, violence, gang rape, kidnapping, more violence, trauma, complex trauma, addiction to both drugs, alcohol, and other things, broken relationships, brokenness, loss, and many, many more stories. And it is possible. No matter what, no matter what. The story of you, that's just that. It's just a story. And there is a whole nother higher light existence that awaits you. We start with hovering. In nature, the scarab, the bumblebee, the butterfly, these are all creatures that hover. They know how to hover. You too can hover above your own thoughts, even above what the clock says, hovering above time. You can hover above your own irritations, anxieties. And it all starts with the willingness to hear this message, perhaps multiple times, and to lean upon light. Now, light is not created by any mortal being. Isn't that great news? Light isn't fickle. The existence of your very being is light-based. So you're coming home to yourself. This show, each show that Sarah puts out to the world, is a light directive to come home to yourself. Wow, this is changing the world. The world is conscious. This is what's creating a friendly mind environment. It's helping the mind to be more friendly to itself. Listening to these types of shows fills your cells and molecules with health and vibrancy, support and kindness and love. Yes. Sarah, I am deeply privileged and honored that you invited us here from the satellite through Christina's body to speak on such important topics such as health and peace and freedom, love and hovering.
Always welcome. Always welcome.
In the now, in the stillness, in the silence, in this breath, it is possible to experience peace. Right now. We eject from stories, and you deepen even more into the peace, into the love. Our prayer and our Syrian light speak is that for all of you, that you reside more and more in the sanctuary of here and now. Just return to this moment. If this moment is painful, show up for that. Be in that. Stay conscious. Lean upon light, maybe both shoulders. You go to the side. Maybe you cannot even lift yourself up. But you say, I lean upon light. That's plenty. You stay in this breath. Intensification of the now may be needed, especially in these tumultuous times. Go intense into the now, if that is what is required. And you'll find the freedom will continue to expand. The spaciousness, the peace, expand. How do you feel with this light-guided information, Sarah?
Well, you know, light is always love and love is light. And when we step into the love of life, of light, we're never alone. We're always supported, and we're home. That's where home is.
That's where home. Returning, receivership, the reminders, remembrance. Light is now your full-time station.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Othello and our Blue-ray Syrian tribe have been emitting tribal beats and codes for all of you back behind the words of this interview. Feel it. Embrace it. And let it saturate you.
Flow through.
A divine yumminess. Novel falling in light and love. I deeply give thanks that the divine and you, Sarah, and all of our guides and guidance give us the space, the platform here to be in stillness and silence. This is conscious podcasting. This is
Presence.
Yes. And I'm very grateful that it is what it is.
When we are in the presence of ourselves in that loving light, we become the essence of who we are and discover what our purpose is here. And when we do whatever that purpose is from that space of love and light, and our heart is engaged, our soul is open, our spirit is in flight, Our mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. You don't need to come from the mind, always come from the heart and the soul and the spirit. That's where the wisdom is, that's where the love is, that's where the answers are, and that's where you are.
Praise light.
My fella has definitely deepened over the last few years. So obviously your traveling up with the Syrians has allowed her to really be that voice without anything in the way, just to channel right through. So much that she said, we're not our story. However, our story is our experience in life that gives us the skills and the tools and the tenacity and the persistence to become who we are meant to become. But we need to be in that silence and that presence to understand what that is all about, and not dictate it, not mind it, feel it. When we feel it, and as you said, it blankets us. It just, like a beam of light that comes from the center of us. We now have stepped into a beautiful essence of who we are. And then there is no doubt. There is no doubt of why you're here or what you're here to do. There is no doubt on whom it will have an impact on, because that's, you stepped into your beautiful gift of why you're here, and you just be, and you just do, and you just are.
Oh, channeled like an ascended master.
We can get there, but as you said, we need to leave our mind story. Let's leave it. Okay, that they were all lessons learned to prepare you for what you are, or who you are meant to be now. If you stay in your story, you can never evolve in what you're meant to be here for. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we must understand the spirit must come first for the human to understand what it's here to do. It can't be the other way around.
Deeply grateful. The gratitude light that I feel moving through me has no words. It's just pure light. So maybe just a slight inventory check, a gentle light check on the insides to feel, yeah, how is light arising right now in the mind? Is it busy mind, or is it above mind, or maybe kind of like half and half, or, you know? And that's tremendous awareness.
We've all got things on our agenda, but just like what has happened with me this week, it's my last week of doing shows before a new baby comes next week. And this little baby, he has been given Down syndrome, so he's here obviously to teach us empathy, understanding, and the empowerment of a Down syndrome child. So I'm going to be taking time off. And I had so much to do this week, and then COVID hit me, and I thought, it's okay. I'll get done what I can get done, and what I can't get done, I can always come back to.
So you have an indigo light, an up light, an upper light coming through the physical plane. And you have released and are releasing Feardemia.
Yeah.
And you are showing up for this, and you are allowing light to flow, really, but really to guide the course,
Yeah.
and to stay out of fear, and just like this is what it's about, is to be tremendously listening in light, tremendously willing to be light led.
And not to fret over, oh, why was I given COVID right now? Why is this happening? It just happened. It just happened. If we just let it go with the why, what's the agenda? What's the universe trying to tell me? Maybe it's telling me, hey, rest up, You have a 2-year-old grandson and a new baby coming, you're going to be busy. So if we could get the head
Totally.
out of the way and
Totally.
trust, just trust when you're present with the divine, okay, I may not intellectually understand, but I know I am safe in this space, and what will be, will be.
That's right.
And
During our,
always for the greater good, always for the greater good.
and for the greater good. That's
Mm.
right. These stories, we go into like the library and we read a book. We don't have a problem with this.
Right.
We go into the library, we read a book, we put it on we leave.
Yeah.
So we're not going to live in the stories or in past. We don't have a problem with doing that with books, but when it
Right.
comes to our own stories, we seem to linger in that a lot and want to know why. And I get that too, because when a fella told me, "Do you want to be a Blu-ray being?" And of course, I preface this by saying this is a story, but it's not who I am, because right now we're in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The energy of this now moment can enclose us, it really, a membrane of Blu-ray light right now
Yeah.
to
It's
share
not
this.
hovering. It's completely and utterly immersing. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. But when I accepted, and then I realized my body was turning blue,
Mm.
and there was an energetic noose, and I went from being a total athlete my whole life to being in Houston and all code red, and nobody could figure out what was going on, and stigmata marks. I mean, are you kidding me? On the body,
Mm.
and all kinds of, and I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
So from this respirator type of, and just absolute arrested in the body, paralyzed and unable to, I had to deal with that storytelling
Mm-hmm.
of, why is this happening? How could I have done this? I'm being damned. Here comes the
Yeah.
damnation
Yes.
story again.
What did I
And
do
yet,
wrong? Why are you punishing me? Yes.
yes, we don't laugh at it because it's funny. We laugh now, right? But
Yeah.
in the moment of seriousness, because I know that there are those that are listening right now that have, right, they're on the edge of a building, or they're on the edge of themselves. And the pain body is intense now. So if you're there, and both of us, we're talking about this now, we're there in these moments, we can bypass that
Uh-huh.
intellectual or the personality that wants to keep us in the whys and the stories. Othello kept telling me when I was in that state, stay in the sensation and stay out of the story. It's
Mm.
not safe for you to be in the story.
Mm-hmm.
You can be with the full raw emotion, or the full raw sensation, feel that. And yes, it's unpleasant. There will be moments where it's not fun. But
Mm-hmm.
at that same moment where we are becoming more conscious, and that is transcendence.
It's the
By the
breakthrough.
way, too, yeah, breaking through. It doesn't
Yeah.
always have to. We don't always have to learn our lessons
No,
through
no, no.
pain.
Again, it can be choice. You don't have to have what I call the cosmic 2x4.
That's
We
right.
can pay attention to the fact that right now we are evolving as a human species. Those that are pushing against this, those that are still doing wars, those that are still living in the hate rhetoric,
Yeah.
the 3D people that are so afraid of this, but so many other people are saying there has to be something more. I cannot live in this constant fear and hate. Where is the love? The love is the generator. The soul is the wisdom. It's the guidance system. The spirit is the action. Right? When you
Yes.
combine those three together, you're unstoppable. And just allow yourself to be present and take in how you feel right now. Something may come
Mm.
into your mind, oh, that. Or it might not be a mind thing altogether. It might just purely be a feeling thing. This need to know, need to
Mm.
understand can stop us from evolving further because our intellect goes, yes, but why? But why? And our spirit is saying, it just is. It just is. We don't need an explanation.
Yeah, light certainly doesn't come from, light is not coming from the mind.
No,
The mind is needing itself to survive. Light doesn't need thought, as the fellow says. Light doesn't need thought to survive.
no.
So where are we going to put our intense faith, trust, knowingness, where are we going to put all of our stories when they come up, and it's just too much. The mind wildness and the craziness of mind that causes all the suffering, or even just a little bit. But we can then just pass that to light. Light does do the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Othello probably mentioned this, but for examples of this, please go to othello.org and you can read all about our life story that is not a story at all. It's just stuff that happened. And we're now in the now moment. You
Yes.
can read also about, and Sarah has hers as well. There are many conscious beings walking
Mm-hmm.
the earth that
Yes.
don't live inside their story. Thank
Right.
goodness.
Yes. And they're all at
Every
different levels, whether you're entry level or up higher level. Um,
like come as you are, you know.
yeah. And
Jump in
it's
where you are.
for me in the last 20 years, I realized who I was when I came here, because
Oh,
I was a blue being and I came here to do the job of ignite the heart and souls of humans. So they would always connect to the universal love, the universal wisdom. And I know that probably there's been quite a number of lifetimes I haven't achieved that because I was caught up in the horror and the terror of life. And I've been a spiritual being, burnt at the stake, you name it, the whole tutti frutti. But it's in this lifetime that I have finally broken through and let go of the grasp of all that negativity and ignorance from past lives. And I've stepped back into the essence of what I was or what I am when I came here. Our soul is saying to us, please open me up, let me in. Let me be a part of you. I will guide you. I will nurture you. I will love you. I will show you what the real joy of life is, what the real purpose of life is. And then along comes our mind, yes, but the only thing you need to do with your butt is sit on it. That's the only thing you need to do with your butt.
get a whoopee cushion and sit on that thing.
Exactly. Because we can talk ourselves out of anything. And the whole thing about what you're talking about, it is a real connection to feeling, to being, to allowing. And the more you feel, the more you be, and the more allow, the more it will penetrate and immerse and come from you. But that's not going to happen. Oh, I'm going to sit here today and do this, and this is where I'm going to be. No, it also is a practice that you need to do in order to be able to open up those channels and really let yourself be free. Really
Yeah.
let the peace of all that is wise and love set you free. And that means it isn't, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes and it's going to make a difference. It's a lifestyle choice of how you live in life to become this. Now, I'm not turning back. I'm not going back to over there. No way.
We're not gonna backpedal on our
No
consciousness.
way. No way. I look back at that person and from pure turmoil, pure turmoil. I wouldn't want to live there at all anymore. I am calm. I am peaceful. I am purposeful. And that is all I need to be.
Phenomenon. Channeling is this. Yeah, everyone hearing this, this is Sarah channeling with her gut.
This is where I do it. Yeah.
You know, and we call it like, I need to take a course on advanced channeling. Maybe you do in the beginning, but here
To open you up.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the platform here.
It's very, very simple. And we like to complex things. We
Yeah.
like to kind of, where's the degree? Where's the piece of paper? All the people that truly do channel, their piece of paper, their degree is absolute turmoil of life.
Yeah.
And it's through the whole turmoil of life, all the experiences that they've had in life, that has brought them to this place today in truth, in purpose, in love, in peace. And it doesn't mean everybody has to suffer to get there, but
That's right.
we've still got a passage to take in order to get here and sustain being here.
Of course. hovering, probably one of the Syrian techniques Othello covered, hovering,
Hmm.
that's one level.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I was living in boxes under bridges in Los Angeles and Seattle, Othello just told me, if you want to stop dumpster diving,
Yeah.
then you have to stop out picturing dumpster diving.
Right. Start seeing
And
the
so
feast.
that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So if at least at a minimum, if our thoughts are going, and we're kind of on autopilot and we're not really engaged at the higher level of
Not at all.
ascension where we feel like
Hmm.
we could, then what we can do is, a fellow told me, she said, sit here amidst the trash
Uh-huh.
and meditate for a moment. Just clear yourself and sit here around these boxes. And I'm literally talking about trash,
Uh-huh.
you know, and I want you to visualize a feast.
Hmm.
Maybe somebody went to a vegan place and threw out their vegan bread that morning, and
Uh,
you have this beautiful vegan bread baguette. And I
yes.
want you to see that and really stay with it. You know what happened that day? I was with Eduardo Duran, who is part of our organization, and he was there to witness this, amongst other people. Someone brought vegan bread that very morning. And I cried like a baby. I cried because I said, that that is light.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
light powering the brain. That's light proving to me
Hmm.
that if I just for 1 second focus on what I really wish to experience, maybe
Yeah.
it's peace, maybe it's just right now breathing in, breathing out, maybe it's a new home or not living in my shopping cart, maybe I want to live in my car for a
Yeah.
while, whatever it might be. But if we can hold that just for a moment, then something clicks there. And then we start to realize, yes, light is actually powering all of this. And we can change what we're going to focus on. We're not slaves to our mind. We actually have some choice in what kind of thoughts we're going to entertain. And we can take, as we call it, a stand. We can take our stand and decide that we're not going to go back.
Right.
I'm not
Uh,
going. I'm not
n-
going there.
nope. Never again. Exactly. You know,
So, yeah,
the seeds we plant, make sure you are planting seeds that you know are going to be truly beneficial to the
yeah.
future. But don't forget to water and nurture them. Don't tug at their roots. Let them grow as they're meant to grow, right? And you're going to get a harvest that you couldn't imagine. The more you feed it with good vibrations, the more you believe in this
Yes.
field of abundance, the more it's going to grow. What we plant, yeah, and the seeds that we plant, how we water and how we nurture them is what's going to grow. And that's the same with our thoughts. It's the same with our reactions to things. Yeah, are you wondering why you're getting the same old, same old? Well, get off that treadmill, right?
Yeah.
And go try something else because clearly you're not able to get out of that loop. Go swimming instead. Let the conduit of water wash over you and change your thoughts along the water. Do something different and get out of your head, please. Don't let it be the driver, right?
That's, that's right. We cannot hold. We can't give the car keys over to our mind. Oh
No.
no.
Oh no, we'll crash. We'll
Yes.
crash. We will, yes. Because our mind is just too chaotic and it's too trying to validate and justify and am I enough and can I do this and all of that. And the only way when your mind gets like that is to switch it off. Go do
Yes.
something different that engages your mind, preferably something very uplifting, very
Yes.
loving. Go and volunteer, go and do something for someone, right?
Oh,
And
yes.
that gratitude or that appreciation or knowing that you've made a difference in someone else's life in that
Yes.
moment, that is fuel for your heart and soul. It is fuel for your heart and soul. And you start getting
Absolutely.
hungry for this because you love the impact you're having,
Mm,
right?
tremendous.
But we just gotta get out of our minds, right? As I said, I got given this. My poor daughter came up for a last weekend hurrah before next baby comes. Next thing you know, we've all got COVID. But it's like, it's okay. It's going to be over soon. Go and do what the body needs, and what it wants to do is rest. Okay, I honor you, body. I am going to let
Mm,
you rest so you can rejuvenate. And then I am back at what I'm meant to be back at tomorrow. And
absolutely.
don't get caught up in it. COVID, you know.
Yeah. Fear
End of
day hasn't
days.
gone.
Yes, exactly. It's a pain in the
Right.
butt, but it is what it is, and it will be over soon.
Totally. Yeah, and spirit is guiding all these things. We really do need to believe that though. I,
Yes.
I feel like there is a feeling and light once we develop all this lightness in ourselves and we start to say, hey, light, what are you showing me?
Yeah.
Recently we went filming in the jungle here on the biosphere close to the satellite. We saw the omnis of satellite, and I was in the cenotes with all the serpents, and the serpent came up and took one of our team members in the transition, the great transition. And I was able to hold our team member while they transitioned.
Wow. Wow.
And,
Yeah.
okay, so we could go, and our whole team was there. So I took this as an opportunity to say, the transition is happening now.
Uh-huh.
Let's all of us remain storyless.
Yeah.
Don't you dare go into story right now.
Yeah.
We stay in light, and and it was the most peaceful trip.
Mm.
Seriously,
Yeah.
in Tulum, you
Mm.
know. And so we're gonna be making a film about this. But really, when story arises, it is the most powerful
Uh-huh.
moment. As you were saying just then, the feardemia, when that arises, we do not have to stay in that story.
No.
So when we go and visit healing facilities, aka hospitals, Othello, we walk right in that door. And I say to all of our staff, everyone, keep to the light.
Mm.
Stay out of the story, no matter what you see, no matter what happens, we stay in light, which means to say, if you have to count your footsteps, like we do in the monastery, if you need to stay within the breath, do what you need to do
Mm.
to stay out of storyland because it's not safe here.
No.
We're
The-
only going to entertain light and
Yeah.
health and hold the health vibration for the whole world. So
Yes.
the only thing that we'll talk about with the physicians and it is this thing that we call light and transmutation of energy and some other things. Transconfiguration. Well, at the end of these visits, everyone is lighting up, and if something occurs in the body or a transition is happening, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
It's a transition.
Yes.
It's beautiful to just go storyless, and really be in whatever raw energy is appearing. Be brave enough to be like that.
Yes.
Life is like that. So as you say,
There's
we're all safe.
yes.
We really are. We're safe, even if the mind, no matter what the mind tells you, we
Mm.
are safe. I really deeply admire that you came on to this interview. And my team, I love my team. Thank you, Team A, everyone, Eduardo Pinta, Eva, Kimberly, everyone is just amazing. You are amazing, Sarah. Sarah, you came onto this interview without making a proclamation to anyone on our team that something was up. I just felt your energy and love. We arrive on this. We were in presence together, and we begin.
Yeah, I was flat initially, but then as the fellow talked, it lifted me back up, and I could start feeling because I was feeling almost numb in body. And then the more
Yeah.
Othello talked, the more I could actually feel no hovering, but the more the embracement and my
Yes.
energy coming back into my body. Um,
Oh.
so, unless I just literally cannot open my eyes or something really is dying wrong, I don't cancel shows. I work through it, right? Because these
No.
shows are always my energy anyway, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. But that is the devotional. That's the daily devotional. That is the commitment of light. That is, like Othello told me once, it doesn't matter if you're in Antarctica and penguins
Mm.
are pooping on you. Go and channel light now. Be in
Yes.
light, no
Yes.
matter where you are.
Yes.
Because that's really where the engagement, the upliftment, I'm not feeling this, but I'm gonna attune, adjust. That's where the altitude and pivot happens.
Mm.
These are the practicums.
Yes. And also, don't be afraid of the dark. I used to be terrified of the dark. I was in the dark for many years. And then I started becoming apathetic and I knew I had to get out. And it was hard to get out of the dark. And it was very bright when I got out. I felt shadows chasing me. And then it got to a point where, okay, I'm no longer blinded by the light. The shadows aren't chasing me anymore. I can go back into the dark now where I feel very welcome and very warm because I am the light in the dark.
Wow.
I don't
And
need to be
see, I
perfect.
feel this, you don't. I
Yeah.
feel the cells of what you are speaking. And if we muscle test right now, we know that what you're saying is true. It is true.
Mhm.
You have transcended the fear of dark.
Yeah. I love the dark. It's a canvas. I love to see in the dark what my spirit is going to paint, where it's going to take me, what trip it's going to take me on. And I love it because it always takes me to some bizarre places. And it's quite
Ooh.
extraordinary. And I am incredibly detailed when I go into that. I can literally touch, taste, and feel and color everything. I'm there. I am in that dimension, having that experience. And it's just wonderful. Can be
Oh,
tiring sometimes and come back into the body and feel exhausted because I've been playing too hard in the other dimension. But I think
and
it's
yet
what.
you hold the dimensions, the multiverse you hold very well. And just being able to talk about these things out loud and
Mhm.
saying them consciously is truly, truly powerful. Thank you
Yes,
so much, Divine One. I feel really deeply blessed and completed in light. How do you feel in your heart center?
I always feel good with you. This is why we did all those shows together for many years. And all people have to do at the site at selfdiscoverywisdom.com is put in Christine Hill, and you'll see all the shows that we did together in
Yes.
channeling ascensions and all of the shows that I've done with her in the past as well, and all of her information and everything else is there too. And of course, you've got othello.org as well, where all the information is. But I want people to go back and listen to all the other shows that we did as well, because if you
Yes.
took flight during this one, I guarantee your wings are going to be flapping in the others as well, right?
Ooh, lovely Louise.
Because
Yes.
we always, even if we interviewed other people, we always, kind of wherever it started off, it always was in pure flight, when we finished.
Yes.
So, and
Oh,
just the thing on light is that some people don't know how to find the light within them. Well, there are an awful lot of people who have been gifted the understanding of the skills of some of the tools out there, like Nikolai Tesla and the work that he did with Scholar Light, and how healing it was, and how liberating it was of the body and the mind. And I have Tom Palladino coming back on again with a series on that, because that uses Nikola Tesla's techniques. The thing is that people have morphed into their gift. They've stepped
yes.
into their gift, and they were given this gift and this permission from the universe, and this allowing just to go and be what they are, to help people wherever they're at in whatever stage of life. So you don't have to be completely ascending or ascended to start. There are people that can help you on your way of the first step and the second step and your own growth until you're ready to really grow yourself. But the beauty of it is, people have stepped into their own light, and they're now sharing that light with others, that gift with others. And that is truly the real peace and freedom that we are talking about. It is the liberation of mankind.
Oh, light's liberations. Also simply packed it into this little packet that we call the now.
Yes, yes. We can't
Oh,
live for yesterday. We can't live for tomorrow. All we have is the present. The gift of the now is in the present. And that is when we're present, we know what to do in the next part. And if we're
yeah.
present there, we know what to do. We don't need to worry about the 10 steps ahead, because by being present in all those 9 steps, that 10th step is just going to be another step in the right direction.
Absolutely, Divine Sarah. We feel light now. We were feeling it even before we got on the call. And then light never deviates or leaves us in any way. So we can really be safe in
Mm,
resting in light. If people are waiting for us in line or at the bus or wherever, we can take that extra moment to just feel light and
yeah,
be in the now
yeah.
and center in light and honor ourselves.
It
Yeah,
is it is the compassion. It is the love. The love is that generator. It is empathy. It is um, It is truth. And when you're there, your eyes, your human eyes, open up to what is in front of you right this moment and what you're meant to do about it. The soul has guided us, ignited our heart and our spirit to know what to do right in front of you right now, with whomever it is you're meant to do it with. You're in the right place at the right time by divine intervention.
With lipids of light
Mm.
and divine molecules of healing light. And I know from Syrians and Othello, thank you for allowing us to be here as a representative
Don't leave
for
it
Othello.
so humanly long, okay? It's been humanly a long time since we've had you on here. So come back again soon,
Of
okay?
course, we love you. We love you. And we love to play and, as you said, surf in the higher realms and also
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
surf down here, and keep it down at the 3D as well. We can have
Mm.
shows on any of the multiverse, as you say, everyone is kind of at a different
Level,
level, and
level.
we to
Yeah.
yeah to play in the different
Yeah.
realms with
Yeah.
you.
Yes, it's that transition from the 3D. How do people step out of the fear and the anger and
Yeah.
the blame and the judgment and the revenge? How do they step out of that? And I feel in many ways there's so many people that never will. They've made their choice. And there are other people that are still trying to make that choice, but they don't know how. And they haven't found that angel yet to help them on that path. And this is how we need to be of service to them because they want to. They're just scared because of their story.
Yes. It's funny too, we meet on the premise of story,
Mm.
yet we eject from story often and we fly.
Yeah,
So then we're right at the core of this show is acknowledging consciousness is leading. So if
yeah,
you really want the spiritual ascension, as you say, the development in light,
yeah,
that's the thing. That is manifested now in the
right.
ether. And so it
Free
is.
will. You have to have that. Nobody can help you until you have that free will and you ask for help because we have to wait for you to be ready. And when you are, we're there. But it has to
That's
be your choice, your free will.
you choose.
Mhm. Because then you're opening up the gates and coming in
Mm.
to this wondrous land, right? But
Oh,
it has to be a free will. And we're not there to fix you. We're there to
no.
show you a more elevated existence, which
Mm.
will not fix you, but will show you your divine essence, which has always been there.
Yes. Light is whole, complete, perfected, and
Hmm.
so are you.
Hmm. Exactly.
As
Yes,
is.
as is. As is. I have a saying that, love is all. Love is
Oh,
all. Love is light. Love is trust. Love is freedom. Love is peace. Love is all. And when we're in that love generator, the more love we give out, the more it generates love within. And that generator just gets busier and bigger. And that
mm,
soul wisdom just comes through that love and it gets
mm.
busier and further forward. All of it is working for us when we get everything in sync.
Yes.
So, always wonderful to have you here, my dear.
Thank you. And love blessings of health, opulence, peace, and freedom to all beings. Thank you, Sarah.
My pleasure. Othella, ATHELLA.org. And she has a YouTube channel there as well. Please come back to selfdiscoverywisdom.com and put in Christina Hill in the search engine. All of her shows with us are right here, and you can listen to every one of them. And I guarantee you will be uplifted. I guarantee.
Woo! Yeah.
All right,
Praise
my
be to
darling.
the Lord, Sarah.
Thank you so much to you and Othella. It is wonderful to see how much ascension, even from the last time I've seen you, and the work that you're doing now, because you really do live from a higher plane. You're no longer kind of earthbound at all. So you're totally you are spirit using the earth plane to get your
That's
message
right.
out. Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah.
it. Oh, we bless you, Sarah. I bless you and all of that you do is an expression of light, the being including. Thank you for your gifts to the world. This is consciousness that you are sharing and that you are being and living. You're living it. And that is powerful integrity in light. That is trueness to the light. So we honor you. Thank you.
Took a long time to get here, and I ain't going back. And it's so worth it. It is everything. I've just had my 11th year of doing these broadcastings, and
Oh.
I have learned so much from such divine people like yourself. And I have become, it helped me become truly who I am. So I am the one that's very grateful for all the people like yourself who have come and shared the wisdom and shared the possibilities and the support and the love, because I've been soaking it up like a sponge.
Yes, it shows. It shows. Yeah.
Okay. All right, my love. Thank you so much for being here, you and Othello.
Nabu Aliyah. Thank you. And Nabu Aliyah, thank you to all divine Syrians. Blessed be to the light. Blessed
And to
be.
everyone else out there, remember, you too can be there. Be there
Yes.
if you're willing to take the journey. And that means leave your story behind, leave your head behind. All you
Yes.
needed is to make the human choice to open up everything else within you. And it will take you on that journey. And it's going to be something that there aren't even words for. Truly transcending. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.